Hey everybody, I'm back. So I want to talk to everybody about an important topic today. Just do a quick video, and I want to talk about engagement. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a brother. I'm also a corporate trainer. I can't show you how to do the first four because I'm still learning, but that fifth one, I got you. Come with me on a journey as I show you how to become the lead trainer. So engagement is super important in the facilitation world. What you're going to have to do to be a successful facilitator, trainer, corporate trainer, coach, whatever you might call it, you've got to be engaging. Let's define engagement. All right, so I got a definition for you. I'm going to read it straight off my screen. Student engagement is a measure of a student's level of interaction with others, plus the quality of involvement in and quality of effort directed towards activities that lead to persistence and completion. We're just going to go with that first part. What I'm going to call engagement is a person's ability to be able to get a person to learn, absorb, pay attention to whatever your material that you're covering, and doing that in a way that it interacts with them, it connects with them. There's so many different types of learning styles out there. And for those learning styles, you want to be able to give a little bit to everybody because you're going to have a mix of people in your class with their learning style abilities. Now, I want to point out that there is a new thought process that I'm starting to see. It may not be new in the world, but it's new for me. I'm starting to hear some facilitators talk about it, that there's no such thing as a learning style. I'm not of that camp. I believe there are learning styles. People learn differently, and you have to be able to figure out. Part of your job is to figure out how can you best get this information to your learner. That's what a facilitator does. So let's talk about a couple different ways to have some engagement. I'm not going to go in too depth right now because I got a special document today I want to go over with everybody. That's going to be the foundation of engagement for your class. So we're going to talk about that in a second, but let's talk about a couple other things that will help you with your engagement. One way to help you with your engagement is to have games in your class. You might say, hey Ryan, why am I playing games in my class? Common facilitator thing, common corporate trainer thing. We're gonna have different games that we might play. They're gonna be interactive learning games. Sometimes they're gonna be on the web. There's a game called Kahoot that my current company likes to use, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. It's an interactive game. You're gonna be able to have questions and answers, multiple choice, true, false, that you get scored on, and your students can interact over their phones, over a computer, over a tablet. It's a pretty interactive, fun thing. I have heard some people complain about these type of competitive games that sometimes it can demoralize a person and then you lose their engagement in the classroom. I have found it as mostly beneficial to do these games. I'm sure that has happened out there, and I'm sure it will continue to happen. When you come across these situations, you have to weigh the benefit versus the negative on this. How much benefit am I getting? And you want to apply this towards everything that you do. How much benefit am I getting versus the negative that's happening with this particular benefit? So you got to be able to do your own judgment call with this. I find it from my personal classroom that using those type of competitive games sometimes, well, not sometimes, they're very beneficial, that the classroom seems to absorb it. They want to learn more. Sometimes you even have some individuals who, man, I didn't do so good on this game. I need to pay attention more or take better notes. It might be a wake up call for some people as well. So the games are a good thing, and there's so many different ones. We're gonna have a whole episode on games later on down the line, so keep that in mind. Another way to have good engagement is to connect your particular material to a story. Make it be able to relate to a situation that might have happened in a person's life, or something that has happened in your life that your students might be able to relate to. I'll give you an example. There was a time I was teaching a diversity class. In this diversity class, I had one person ask me, why is diversity important? It was a legit question. They, for real, did not understand why having diversity in the workplace was important. And so I wanted to break it down for them in a story that can connect with them through a story that I experienced. Here's my story, and hopefully you enjoy this one. So I'm from the South, and in the South, when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot to do, and we did something called mudding. Mudding, you might ask, what is this mudding thing that you're talking about? Mudding was you would go to some mud out in the field somewhere, and you would take your truck. Sometimes you might take a car, and you would see if you can make it through the mud, or you might do some donuts on the mud. And sometimes, guess what? You didn't make it through. In saying that, you got stuck in the mud. We all can relate to that sometimes your car breaks down, or you're stuck in a pothole, or you're stuck in mud. In this situation, what I would do is I would go around and I would ask everybody, hey, how are you getting out of this mud? What do you do? Because everybody can relate to that situation from the standpoint of having a car problem. One person would say, hey, I'll use a winch to be able to get the truck out the mud. Another person might say, let's get some cat litter, put it under the wheel, and we're going to see if that'll give it some traction. Another person might say, let's go get, same kind of with the traction thing, let's go get some bark out of the woods. We're going to put it on the wheel, see if we can get some traction. Some people say, hey, I'm going to call my significant other and they're going to figure it out for me. Everybody would have a different answer. Everybody would have a different answer. But guess what? One of those answers is going to work. And that's the purpose for diversity. You are going to be in a work environment. And if you have just one mindset in your work environment, you might be stuck in the mud, or stuck in the past, or stuck in a problem that you can't figure out, or have a good solution to be able to move forward. In saying that, with all those different ways to get out of the mud, you would have so many different ideas in the workforce, in the workplace, that would help that company to be able to go forward. So many different others, and I'm going to have a detailed class later on so many different types of engagement. There's going to be so many episodes that we can talk about with this particular topic. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you something that I think is a great foundation for you in your facilitation journey.